Hey, what's going on YouTube? Today I'm going to be talking about risk management in PoE and why it's important to consider actually doing gambling in this game because it can be a huge time saver instead of farming, where farming limits are capped, right? So say you have a 10 div per hour farming strategy. It's very difficult to increase a farming strategy past that 10 div per hour. It's pretty hard to do. And that means that it would take you about 50 hours to farm a mirror at 500 divine price, right? Well, five, and then also the mirror price could go up, right? So within that 50 hours of farming, that's also straight farming, no breaks. So it's actually going to take you a lot longer than 50 hours to do it. Probably going to end up taking you about a week to farm for that mirror, right? But what if instead you farmed only part of that mirror, say 60 divines, in 6 hours, and you bought a bunch of enlightened threes, and then you go into a locust temple and you double corrupt them all. Let's say you farmed 60 divines, you bought with that 20 temples plus 20 enlightens. That would mean that you would have to double corrupt and up level 5 of those gems to make your money back, right? So, and that's like average. On average, you get 5 back for that. So that would be your money back. Not only that, but you'd get profit on top for the other 15 gems just at selling corrupted level 3, which I think go for like 150 chaos. So that would be a profit of almost 10 divines just right there, right? And that 10 divines was not made in an hour. Instead, that 10 divines was made in like 15 minutes, okay? So it's saving you time to do that. Not only that, but you have the upside of getting above average luck, which could mean, if you get 5, which is the average, your sixth one is 12 divine profit, right? At 12 divines, that just saved you an hour of farming. If you get 2 extra, that's 24 divines. That just saved you 2 hours of farming. You can see how using proper risk can actually make you a ton of currency in this game, as long as you're managing your risk properly, which means don't do gambles that don't pay out. For instance, harvest gambling. Yes, obviously it pays out. People have, become the richest people in this game become rich off of harvest gambling, and it's because they will keep doing it until they hit that winning streak, right? And then they cash out, and then they go play the league, and they never have an issue. The problem is then they gamble more House of Mirrors with their extra currency and then start losing. And, if you go on a losing streak, it can be really a major setback for you. So I don't like to do harvest gambling in particular, but there are plenty of like risk adverse strategies that involve gambling that have mathematical outcomes to be in your favor most of the time. That's why things like profit crafting exist. Profit crafting is just gambling in disguise. It's just you measuring the odds of an outcome and debating on if it's worth more to make that outcome occur by yourself and then sell the outcome for a profit, or if the average outcome is a loss in profit. So, for instance, if you're profit crafting quivers and you're aiming for tier 1 on everything, you might lose money because it's very difficult to do that. And the odds start to get a little complicated and start to get kind of out of your favor for profit margins wise. Same thing with Hinakora's Lock, double corrupting very expensive rares is like something I highly suggest not doing, because the resell is very difficult and you most often don't get your money back. But for something like double corrupting gems, where the odds are 1 in 4 every time, and the outcome or resale is typically reflected in that. So most gems, whatever their +1 level is typically 4 times the value of whatever the level 1 is. Of course, if it's a Val gem with alt quality and up a level, then it should sell at about 10 times the value of the normal gem because that's the average odds on that. And then everything, if you get above average luck, it's all profit. And then if you get below average luck, it's an unfortunate loss. It happens, but that shouldn't like scare you away from trying more often because just as you can get unlucky, you can get lucky. And when the odds are static, for instance, with double corrupting, where it's always a chance, it's always a 25% chance that this outcome will happen. It gives you the opportunity to more than likely come out on top every time because you get to sell off your bulk of your double corrupted gems that didn't go up a level. You get to sell off your extra double corrupted gems. It's the same thing with regrading lenses. Alt qualities for, say, a tornado shot is a 2020 tornado shot goes for 30 chaos, and then you roll all quality on it. You hit anomalous, it's 2 divines now. You paid half a divine for that 1 in 3 chance of that happening. Things like that, where you have these like set outcome situations that people call gambling, even though it's like very in your favor. These situations are the situations people should be taking most advantage of because these situations are what allow you to save so much time and go faster and get currency faster than the average farmer. Of course, you do have to farm for that initial currency, but once you get that initial currency, if you want to exponentially grow your wealth, the only way you can do that is by pushing your luck and playing the odds to save time. Because yes, anyone can get rich by farming, but it will take you a tremendous amount of time and a tremendous amount of effort compared to using some risk management and being able to kind of expedite that time spent. For instance, with my early league stack deck strategy, which I've gotten a lot of hate for, which is no surprise, and I don't really care because if I'm getting hate for it, that means that nobody's going to try and compete with me for that strategy. But let's say you do the stack deck strategy and you spent 20 divines on stack decks, you open all the stack decks, you got above average luck, you end up pulling a doctor card, you end up making 20 divines profit. Maybe it took you about an hour to open all those cards, right? You just doubled the speed at which you could farm at, with the upside of you had a chance of getting an apothecary card, which would have multiplied that time saved by like 6. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know this sounds just like rambling and crazy, but I'm telling you, there's science to it. Another good example is sexton rolling. If the odds are in your favor, you should be taking advantage of it because that means that more than likely, because this isn't you're not living in a world where you're the only unlucky person and like if you're gonna do it, it's gonna come out wrong. Like, that's not how it works. You're playing a video game, and the video game's code has a static system that tells you an outcome between 1 and whatever is going to happen. It's all about knowing how possible it is and then mathematically figuring out if that is going to provide you the correct outcome often enough to profit. And then you have to calculate, okay, if I can go even on a base, what's my gain versus loss on getting above average luck or below average luck, right? So for double corrupting awakened gems, or just double corrupting enlightened threes, let's say, if you get above average luck, it's 12 divine extra. If you get below average luck, you lost 2 divines, right? So that means that there's room for protection. There's like a buffer there, right? For you to chase after above average luck. And then eventually you'll hit that streak of above average luck. It's just bound to happen, right? Of course, you can't hit a streak of below average luck, but because the loss on a below average streak is so much less than your gain, you know what I'm saying? Even if you're losing 3 out of 4, right? You're losing 6 divines for every 12 divines gained, right? So there's this math to it. There's this math where, okay, this is going to pan out in my favor if I just keep doing this. And I'm not crazy. People do this. I know people who have quad tabs of Enlightened 4s that are just buying quad tabs of Enlightened 3s, double corrupting all of them, and then ending up with tons of profit on the other side. People who do sexton rolling because they know that the weight of getting these above average, like Enraged Strongbox being 10 divines is insane when the weighting is like quite average. Stuff like that. You have to consider how playing with risk can make you rich in this game very easily. And taking advantage of these luck-based situations and these mathematical turnouts is extremely important. Because if you don't take advantage of these, you will be stuck at 10 divines per hour. And I mean, you can take that if you like 10 divines per hour, or you can drop a mage blood and get lucky, but I mean, I'll tell you, the odds of that happening are very low. I've been playing this game for years now, and I've never seen a mage blood hit the ground. I've played Magic Find plenty of times, and I've never seen a mage blood hit the ground. I've never seen a mirror hit the ground. I have seen a headhunter hit the ground 3 times, but I was playing Magic Find for 2 of them, and then the other time was sheer luck in a 5-way. So, with that aside, I can say it doesn't happen often enough to make you rich every league. So you have to take advantage of the systems in play to save time. Because if you don't save time, you're going to get stuck chasing inflation. And that's why you see so many people where they're like, oh man, if I just had 10 more divines, I could get this mirror. Oh, if I just had like 80 more divines, I could get this mirror. Then they go and farm for 8 hours, and then the mirror's gone up another 40 divines. And it's like, well, gotta keep chasing that mirror. Gotta keep, losing money because they're not saving time. And because everything goes up in value over time in this game, at least from a standpoint of start to finish, things go up in price, right? Most things. Some things don't. Some things go down in price, but on average, things things that people want go up in price over time. Things that people chase go up in price over time. So you have to think, okay, how do I beat that inflation? I have to do things faster. Okay, that does not mean that you can farm faster. You just can't. Like 10 divines per hour, even like 15 divines per hour might be your cap. I know Sanctum's kind of been messing with that a little bit. I think Sanctum's like a good solid 18 to 20 divines per hour strategy right now if you got a good build for it. But the point being, risk management saves you time, saves you hours of time. Every time you hit that Enlighten 4, that just saves you an hour, right? Every time you hit that winged sextant scarab, sextant thing, that saves you an hour and a half of time. Every time you hit a strongbox, enraged strongbox, that saves you an hour of time. So you have to think about how like manage your risk, save time. It is really important. I'm telling you guys. I know this has just been a lot of rambling. I've been playing the totem mechanic with the cheese build all day today and a little bit yesterday. I'm up to like rank 850. And I've got a armor stacker build I'm going to be showcasing soon, but I've just been kind of playing Tota because I don't really know what else to be doing currently. So that's probably what has been on the screen. But yeah, with that being said, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this weird rambling of a madman that plays PoE, and hope you learned a thing or two. All right, we'll see you later.